In the vast expanse of the galaxy, Queen Seraph was known as the most feared ruler. Her beauty was unmatched, but her kiss was deadly. It wasn't just poison, it was a weapon, a curse that wiped out entire species. One kiss, and even the strongest beings crumbled into nothingness. For years, Seraph had used her curse to expand her empire, conquering worlds and enslaving races. The galaxy trembled before her, except for one species, humans. Humans were considered insignificant, weak, and unimportant. They were barely mentioned in galactic politics. But everything changed the day the Queen met a human rebel named Kai. A strange encounter. Kai had been captured during a small rebellion against Seraph's forces. He was brought to her grand palace, a massive fortress carved into a floating asteroid. Chains bound his hands, and guards shoved him to his knees before the Queen's throne. Seraph studied him with cold, calculating eyes. "Another rebel," she said, her voice smooth but sharp. "Your kind doesn't know when to quit." Kai glared at her. "We fight because you give us no choice." Her lips curled into a cruel smile. "Do you know what happens to those who defy me?" "I've heard the stories," Kai replied. "Your kiss." "Death." Seraph leaned closer, intrigued by his defiance. "Then you know your fate." The guards stepped back as Seraph approached. Her shimmering dress sparkled like starlight, and her eyes glowed with an unearthly light. Slowly, she cupped Kai's face and pressed her lips to his. The guards expected him to fall, lifeless, like so many before him. But nothing happened. Kai opened his eyes, confused but alive. The room fell silent. Seraph stepped back, her expression shifting from confidence to shock. "Impossible," she whispered. The Discovery Seraph ordered her scientists to study Kai. They ran endless tests, probing and analyzing his body. Days passed and the Queen became obsessed with understanding why her kiss hadn't worked. "You're hiding something," she accused, staring at Kai in the lab. "I'm just a human," Kai replied, his tone laced with frustration. "Maybe your curse isn't as powerful as you think." But it wasn't that simple. The scientists eventually uncovered the truth. Human DNA was unique. Unlike other species, humans had a rare genetic trait that made them immune to Seraph's deadly kiss. For Seraph, this revelation was both fascinating and dangerous. If her enemies learned of this, they could use humans as weapons against her empire. An unlikely Bonzarath began to spend more time with Kai, questioning him about humanity. She expected him to be weak, cowardly, like the humans she had heard about. But Kai surprised her. "You fight for survival," she said one evening, pacing her private chamber. "But your people have no power, no advanced technology. What makes you so determined?" Kai shrugged. "Because we don't give up. You can destroy our cities, kill our people, but you'll never break our spirit." His words lingered in her mind. Seraph had ruled through fear and death, but humanity's defiance was something she couldn't control. The greater threat. While Seraph wrestled with her thoughts, news of Kai's immunity leaked through her palace. One of her generals betrayed her, informing her enemies about the human secret. Soon, an alliance of rival species prepared to attack Seraph's empire, hoping to exploit the human's immunity to her kiss. Kai, still a prisoner, heard of the looming invasion. He approached Seraph in her throne room. "You need my help," he said. The Queen scoffed. "Why would I trust you?" "Because your enemies won't stop with you," Kai explained. "Once they destroy your empire, they'll come for Earth. If we work together, we can stop them." Seraph hesitated. She had never trusted anyone, let alone a human. But the desperation in his voice, combined with his immunity, made her consider the unthinkable. The final battle. Seraph and Kai formed an uneasy alliance. Her armies and his strategies combined to create a plan to fend off the invaders. During the final battle, Kai led a strike team to disable the enemy's main weapon, while Seraph used her deadly kiss to eliminate key leaders. Together, they turned the tide of the war. But in the heat of the battle, Kai was gravely injured. As he lay bleeding on the battlefield, Seraph knelt beside him. For the first time in her life, she felt something she didn't recognize: gratitude, and perhaps even regret. "You're stronger than I ever thought," she said softly. Kai smirked through the pain. Guess humans aren't so weak after all. A new era after the battle, Sarath made a surprising decision. She released Kai and the other human prisoners, allowing them to return to Earth. "You've earned your freedom," she told him. "But remember, this alliance doesn't make us friends." Kai nodded, understanding her pride. "Maybe not friends," he said, "but maybe not enemies either." As Kai departed, Sarath watched from her throne, her empire bruised but still standing. For the first time, she wondered if humanity, with all its flaws and resilience, might be the key to something greater than war. In a galaxy torn apart by war and disease, a silent killer swept across planets, leaving nothing but death in its wake. The plague wasn't natural. It came from a single source, Empress Lyra's kiss. Her lips carried a deadly virus that could destroy any species she touched. Whole civilizations fell as she waged her campaign of terror. But there was one thing no one had expected. Humans were immune. The call for help on Earth. Life had gone on as usual, unaware of the chaos unfolding across the stars. Humans weren't important enough to be noticed by the galactic powers, but that changed when alien diplomats arrived, desperate and begging for help. Dr. Aidan Cole, a brilliant but unassuming scientist, was chosen to represent Earth. He stood in awe as the alien envoys explained their plight. "The Empress spreads death with her kiss," said Karen, an alien leader with shimmering blue skin. "Her virus mutates too fast for us to stop it. But humans are immune. Your kind could be the key to saving the galaxy." Aidan hesitated. "You want us to create a cure?" "Yes," Karen replied. "But the task will be dangerous. Lyra will do anything to keep her power." The secret behind the immunity. Aidan and his team were taken to the Galactic Medical Center, a massive floating lab in deep space. There, they studied the virus. Day and night, they worked, trying to unlock the secret of humanity's immunity. The more Aidan learned, the more disturbing the truth became. The virus wasn't just a random weapon. It was designed specifically to target advanced alien species. Humanity's simplicity was their shield. Their DNA lacked the complexity that the virus exploited, but creating a cure wasn't easy. The virus mutated so quickly that even humans could become vulnerable if they tampered with their immunity. "We have to be careful," Aidan warned his team. "If we change too much, we might put our own species at risk." The Empress's plan, meanwhile, Empress Lyra learned of the humans' involvement. She had built her empire on fear, and a cure would destroy her reign. She sent her elite soldiers, the Shadow Guard, to eliminate the humans before they could finish their work. Aidan's lab was attacked in the middle of the night. Explosions rocked the station as Shadow Guards stormed in. Aidan barely escaped with the research, clutching a small vial of experimental serum, the only hope for a cure. "You're running out of time," Karen said as they fled to a nearby ship. "If Lyra finds us, it's over." Aidan nodded, his heart pounding. "We need to take this to Earth. It's the only place we can finish the work safely." The race to save the galaxy journey to Earth was treacherous. Lyra's fleet hunted them across star systems. Aidan and his team worked tirelessly on the serum, knowing that every second counted. As they neared Earth, Aidan had a breakthrough. The serum could cure the plague, but it came at a cost. If the cure spread across the galaxy, it would neutralize humanity's immunity, making them just as vulnerable as everyone else. "It's a risk we have to take," Aidan said, though doubt lingered in his voice. The final confrontation. When they reached Earth, they found Lyra waiting for them. Her massive flagship hovered over the planet, a dark shadow against the sky. She descended to the surface, her soldiers flanking her. Aidan stood his ground, holding the vial tightly. "This ends now," he said, his voice steady. Lyra laughed, her eyes gleaming. "You think your cure will stop me? I am death itself. You are nothing but fragile creatures playing with forces you don't understand." Before Aidan could react, Lyra stepped forward and kissed him. The soldiers gasped, expecting him to collapse. But Aidan remained standing. He wiped his lips and smiled grimly. "Guess what? Your curse doesn't work on me." Lyra's smile faltered for the first time. A hero's sacrifice. Aidan activated the serum, releasing it into the atmosphere. A shimmering wave spread across the sky, reaching out into space. It neutralized the virus instantly, saving billions of lives. But as the cure took effect, Aiden felt a sharp pain. His immunity was gone, just as he had feared. The serum had made humans vulnerable to the virus. Lyra saw this and sneered. "You've doomed your own kind." "No," Aiden said, standing tall. "I've given the galaxy a chance to fight back. Your reign is over." With one last effort, Aiden activated a hidden signal, summoning Earth's defense fleet. The humans, underestimated for so long, joined forces with the galaxy's survivors to drive Lyra's forces away. A new beginning, the galaxy celebrated the end of Lyra's plague, but the cost was heavy. Humans were no longer immune, and Earth had become a target for those seeking revenge. Aiden's sacrifice became a legend, a story told across the stars. He had risked everything to save species that once looked down on humanity. In the end, it was clear humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or power. It was their courage to stand against impossible odds. As stars lit up with hope once more, the galaxy knew one thing for sure: humans, fragile and flawed, had become the galaxy's saviors. The Valkyria were the galaxy's most feared conquerors. Known for their elegance and cruelty, their most powerful weapon was their kiss. It wasn't a gesture of affection, but a curse. The Valkyria's kiss spread a venomous toxin that could dissolve any species into ash within seconds. No one could resist it. No one except humans. For centuries, the Valkyria avoided Earth, calling humans untouchable. It was a mystery that no one dared to question. But when Earth's colonies began expanding into Valkyria-controlled space, the truth about the humans' immunity became a threat the Valkyria could no longer ignore. A dangerous encounter. Cole Reed was a scavenger, a human wandering the galaxy, collecting scraps from abandoned ships and planets. Life wasn't glamorous, but it kept him alive. One day, while exploring a derelict ship on the edge of Valkyria space, Cale found something unusual: a black and gold datapad bearing the Valkyria insignia. He hesitated, knowing the danger of meddling with anything tied to the Valkyria. But curiosity got the better of him. As he powered on the device, a hologram flickered to life. It showed maps, coordinates, and strange symbols. Before he could make sense of it, a sharp voice echoed behind him. "Drop it." Cale turned slowly to find a Valkyria warrior aiming a glowing blade at him. Her skin shimmered like liquid silver, and her eyes burned with a fierce violet light. "What do we have here?" she sneered. "A scavenger, trespassing in Valkyria territory." Cal raised his hands, trying to stay calm. "I didn't know this was your ship." "I'll just leave. No harm done." She smirked. "Oh, but there is harm. You've seen something you shouldn't have." She stepped closer, her lips curling into a cruel smile. Cal's blood ran cold. He knew what was coming. "I don't suppose you've heard of my kiss?" she whispered. The kiss that failed. Before Cal could react, she pressed her lips to his cheek. He braced himself for pain, for death. But nothing happened. The Valkyria warrior pulled back, her expression shifting from confidence to confusion. What are you?" she demanded, staring at him like he was a ghost. Cal shrugged, his heart pounding. "Just a guy trying to make a living." The warrior stepped back, as if he were some kind of monster. "Humans?" she hissed, her voice trembling. "You shouldn't exist." Without another word, she vanished into the shadows, leaving Cal alone and bewildered. A hidden truth. Cole returned to his ship, clutching the datapad. He couldn't shake the Valkyria's reaction. Why had her deadly kiss failed? And why did she seem so afraid of him? Curiosity gnawed at him, so he decided to decode the datapad. With the help of an old AI companion named Lyric, he uncovered its secrets. The datapad contained classified Valkyria files about humans. Cal read with growing horror. Long ago, the Valkyria had encountered humans on a distant planet. Their kiss, which worked on every other species, had failed on humans. Worse, humans carried a dormant gene that could neutralize the Valkyria's venom entirely. If awakened, this gene could make humans immune and spread immunity to others. The Valkyria, humans weren't just immune, they were a threat to their very existence. A deadly pursuit, the datapad's discovery didn't go unnoticed. Soon, Valkyria ships were hunting Cal across the galaxy. They wanted the datapad back and were willing to destroy anyone who stood in their way. Cal knew he couldn't keep running forever. He needed help. He reached out to the human colonies, warning them of the Valkyria's plans. But most people dismissed his claims as paranoid ramblings. Only one group believed him, a small resistance of humans who had been fighting against alien oppression for years. The Resistance Strikes Back. The Resistance helped Cal analyze the gene mentioned in the Valkyria files. They discovered that it could be activated using a special signal, a signal hidden on Earth, buried deep in humanity's ancient past. Cal and the Resistance knew what they had to do. If they could activate the gene, they could turn the tide against the Valkyria. But the Valkyria weren't going to let that happen. As Cal and the Resistance prepared their mission, Valkyria ships blockaded Earth. The final battle had begun. The final battle led a small team to the ruins of an ancient city where the signal was hidden. The Valkyria descended on them in waves, their warriors relentless. In the chaos, the same Valkyria warrior who had tried to kill Cal on the derelict ship confronted him again. This time, she didn't attack. "You don't understand," she said urgently. "If you awaken the gene, it won't just save humans, it will destroy the balance of the galaxy." Cal glared at her. "The balance is already broken. You've enslaved and killed countless species. It's time for something new." She hesitated, then stepped aside. "Do what you must. But know this, the galaxy will fear you as much as it fears us." With her words echoing in his mind, Cal activated the signal. A new era, the gene, awakened across humanity, spreading like wildfire. Humans became immune not only to the Valkyria's kiss, but to countless other alien threats. The Valkyria retreated, their reign of terror broken. But the warrior's warning stayed with Cal. As humanity rose to power, whispers of fear spread across the galaxy. The once untouchable species was now seen as unstoppable. Cal knew that humanity's greatest challenge wasn't defeating the Valkyria, it was proving that they could lead the galaxy without becoming the monsters they had fought against. The galaxy had been at war for centuries, and humans were on the brink of extinction. The Exeltran Dominion, a ruthless alien empire, had systematically wiped out human colonies across the stars. Now, only a handful of survivors remained, hidden on a remote planet called Valus 7, a desolate world cloaked in poisonous storms. The Exeltran wanted every human dead. To finish the job, they hired Solara, the most feared assassin in the galaxy. Known for her precision and cold heart, Solara had ended countless lives without hesitation. She was a perfect weapon, her loyalty bought and paid for. But this mission would be unlike any other. The assignment, Solara's client, General Koroth of the Exeltran Dominion, handed her the final dossier. "These are the last humans," he said, his voice devoid of emotion. "They live like rats, hiding from their inevitable fate. Eliminate them all." Solara studied the file, her sharp eyes scanning the holographic images. Men, women, children, all marked for death. To her, it was just another job. Humans were weak, unremarkable creatures. She'd never seen one in person, and she didn't care to. "Consider it done," Solara said, turning to leave. Arrival on Valus 7. The storms on Valus 7 howled as Solara's sleek black ship cut through the toxic clouds. She landed near the coordinates provided by the general. The human settlement was hidden beneath a series of rocky cliffs, shielded from the planet's deadly atmosphere by ancient terraforming technology. As Solara approached the settlement, she prepared for the hunt. Her weapons were calibrated, her senses sharp. She expected resistance, but knew it wouldn't last long. After all, humans were no match for her advanced skills and technology. But as she infiltrated the settlement, something unexpected happened. The human child Solara's first target was a small outpost near the edge of the settlement. She crept through the shadows, her rifle aimed at a figure moving in the distance. But when she drew closer, she froze. It wasn't a soldier or a rebel, it was a child. A boy no older than 6, with wide, frightened eyes and dirt smudged on his face. Solara hesitated. She had killed countless people before, but something about the child's gaze stopped her. He wasn't just scared, he was hopeful, as if he believed she might save him instead of ending his life. "Go," she whispered, her voice harsher than she intended. The boy didn't move. "I said go," she barked, motioning for him to run. This time, he obeyed, disappearing into the shadows.